When you think about coaching, what do you think? Do you go back to your childhood of playing sports and having some old man tell you what to do? I mean, that's a form of coaching, and it works for children. They learn skills of how to work together with their other teammates, how to make decisions on the field, how to go through an action to get a result that they want based off of the information that that old man gave them. If you had that experience, that's great. You probably have a one-up in life. But as an adult, what does your coaching experience look like? Did you just stop getting advice from people? Did you stop having someone in your corner advising you on how you can operate better? Those people are so instrumental in our lives. And now with the way our lives are and society, the technology that's given to us, you have even more reason as to why that you should have a coach in your life. Now, what makes a good coach? What makes the person qualified to give you the information that you need to experience the life that you want and acquire the skills that you need to do it? Oftentimes, social media gives us way too many options with way too many unqualified people. So the only way for you to be able to understand if that person is able to give you what you want is by the examples that they're setting. Are you confident in your advisor? Have you actually paid attention to what they're doing, the words that they're saying, and how the actions actually correlate with that? Because if you're blind to it and all you're going off of social media hype, I can guarantee you, you're being screwed. And that guy is earning a lot of money from a lot of people just like you. So take the opportunity, take the time, put yourself in a spot where you can observe your mentor. You can find someone doing the things that you've always wanted to do. And put yourself in a situation where maybe asking them for help isn't as scary as not getting the life that you want. And if you get turned down, don't take it to heart. Take it as the opportunity for you to assess yourself and improve your skills so you can increase your value to the marketplace. And then take action and continue to take action. And then don't give up, because that person that turned you down may just be asking you for the help that they need to get to a spot that you want to be in. So I tell you again, do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? If you don't, take action today. Find somebody that's willing to do for you and help you in the way that you need to get to the place that you want to be so you can be proud of the life that you've lived. Roll that intro. I want to thank you for joining us at the Man Up and Own It show, where we deal with experiences and difficulties that men may face by telling the stories of other men and how they've overcome those difficulties in their life. And today, I am honored to share this space with a great coach, an amazing man, Blake Hahn.
How you doing, man?
I'm great, bro. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Hey, dude. Let's start this baby off by you telling them who you are.
Well, Blake Hahn, born and raised here out of Phoenix, Arizona. I'm 30. Now I got 2 kids. Daughter's a year and a half. Son just turned 3 months. It's a beautiful thing. Me and my lady, we've been together for 11 years. We're going on 12 years. And currently right now, I say, man, actually, I'll kind of start a little bit about myself. Over the last decade, me and my partner, we've built 12 different companies. I've lost everything twice, went through hundreds of thousands of dollars of lessons, not losses, lessons. And I've learned a lot of that over the last decade. And then over the last 4 or 5 years, I've had the opportunity. My uncle gave me a call and said, hey, man, I'd love for you to come build my solar company from ground up. And that's kind of what set me on the path. And to be honest with you, man, I'm a hard worker. I'm a grinder. My dad raised me as a hustler, and I've always been looking for an opportunity, but someone giving me the opportunity to lead something from the front, if that makes sense. Not hopping into something that's already been made or done or the path's been paved.
Yeah, you're just like picking up from where someone else left off.
Exactly. Like coming in from scratch and everything and building something up from ground zero. And I've been blessed in everything. I thank God every day, but he's led me on the way. Had great success over the last 5 years, built the company up to 80 million in gross annual last year. We built up 3 offices, over 65 reps. This is door-to-door sales too. It's not an easy industry. It's a hard industry.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition out there, right?
Yeah, bro. It's the door-to-door industry now, and even the solar industry is crazy. It's cutthroat out there right now. I can tell you that.
That's good. And it takes a quality leader, a quality coach for them to have someone that they can believe in to go out there and do their best.
Exactly. And that's what I've been, honestly, it's been great being able to lead people and go help people change their lives and go through that. And I know I was one of those people. It's just like what you were saying, man, is how do you know someone that's qualified? And one thing, or 2 things I could tell you, someone that's qualified, one is it has a track record and has been there, done that. But 2 is when you're looking for a coach or someone that's wanting to get you to the next level, or you're needing that mentorship, you got to make sure that they're getting those same results today. Mm-hmm. It's not, well, I did this back in the day, or I did this 10 years ago, I did this 20 years ago. And I think that's where social media has got things a little twisted up, is if you're going to hire someone or work with someone, you need to make sure that they're getting results today.
Oh, absolutely. Or, I mean, at least the plan they have is applicable, because maybe they're like not in the game. They've already established their wealth. They've already got their life secured where they don't have to do those things anymore. But if they gave you a plan, they could enact it and it would run flawlessly.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I also think the social media thing has completely like diluted what is reality.
It is. It's really bad, man. And it's crazy because you could see someone from social media, but then when you're in their presence or you hang out with them for a couple of days, sometimes you kind of really see the real in people. And one of my favorite sayings is time will either promote you or expose you.
Absolutely.
And when you meet someone, it just takes a year, 2 years, 5 years, or a decade down the road to really truly see who that person really is and how they move, how they do business, and just how they are as like a human being.
Absolutely. I think sometimes we get jaded, right? We like see something and we want it to be something more than the willingness to accept it for what it is.
I agree.
And all of a sudden we see a possibility versus a reality.
Yep.
Have you ever like gotten yourself in a situation with another group of guys or something like that that led to the detriment of your future?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain about that?
I'll be honest with you, understanding and realizing what a true leader is and someone that's really leading you in the path for you and not leading you in the path for them. And to kind of touch on that is sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And going back to it, man, I mean, I remember I was 21 and I was just so excited. I want to be an entrepreneur. I just wanted to figure it out. So I'm going to people, and then I think some people are just taking it for granted, but I also worked my ass off very well. So I got into network marketing and started rolling through and everything. Long story short, doing business and bad business the wrong way, not knowing what I was doing. But I was being led by someone, and that's all I knew.
Right.
And then when you're making good money and you're being led by someone, that's why I said time either promotes you or exposes you. And after a year and a half, 2 years goes by, and you really look back at it, or you see how things crumble that fast, you want to know why. And then even it's crazy from that 2 years, you look at that same person 5 years later, and now you understand, you're like, damn, that was my leader. That's who was guiding me. Yep. And it's crazy because a lot of people do a lot of things for them than for you.
Oh,
and that's
absolutely.
when you got to find, like, it's hard to identify if that's someone that really is a true mentor to you or not.
You know, and it's such an easy thing to do because that's self-preservation, and that's what comes naturally to us on our animal side. Like, when it comes down to it, like, the majority of people are going to take care of themselves first.
Right.
And if we're in denial about that, then we're only setting ourselves up for potential suffering.
I agree.
So what did you do once you found out that the person that had taught you all of these things was a fraud or wasn't someone that you wanted to be remembered as?
I wanted to be the opposite of that person. I wanted to lead people in a different way. And one thing I tell my business partner, ever since we've been business partners, you know, Michael, since day one, and it's been about a decade, is that we'll always do good business. We'll always over-deliver of what we deliver on, and we'll treat everybody equal. And we live by that, and it's because, I mean, when Man, there's so many people out there right now that are just looking for help.
Absolutely.
That are looking for guidance, looking for a leader, looking for a mentor. And because of the damn social media nowadays, people are taking advantage of those people and taking their money from them and putting it in their pockets and not delivering on it and actually helping them. And I was one of those people. So where ideal and everything stems from is, man, like I want to give back to people that really genuinely want the help, the guidance, the leadership, and need it at the highest level, but actually giving them what I didn't have and what I went through. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, it sucks, man. Like you work a full-time job to fund your dreams and still live off of that money. Mm-hmm. And then when someone sells you on something, you get it going and everything, you put your money in there and it's not what it is and everything, and it keeps setting you back. It's like, man, dude, it's crazy. And then you find someone else that like genuinely wants to help you.
And now you're gun shy. You're like, I don't know, this guy might screw me. Because somebody else screwed me before. I put my vulnerability out there and trusted them, and then they just robbed me.
Well, yeah, and one thing I had to do better on that was I just did better due diligence.
Yeah.
And that's on that person. So as I learned, I went through there, and I feel like it's what God wanted me to go through. He needed me to go through that because then I need to know how to read people, understand people, and know what to look for moving forward. So then I started to look for those right things. I started to ask the right questions, and I started doing my right due diligence on those people to know if that's who I should do business with or if I should put my money in their hands to help me grow my business.
Absolutely.
Or lead me.
At the last men's dinner, I brought up a thing about knowing if a man's full of shit or not. And I was like, if the man has his wife with him, one of the ways you can tell if he's a high quality man is the way he handles his wife. How does he take care of her? How does he talk to her? How does he treat her? And then the second thing is if his wife is standing next to him and he's talking about how great he is, you don't watch him. You watch her. Mm-hmm. Because if she's sitting there rolling her eyes and like, oh, this guy again, he's full of shit.
Yes.
Because if he wasn't, she'd be self-promoting him. She'd be like, yeah, you should check out this program. Yeah, you should do this. And at our networking or the networking event that you put on, where we met, there was a couple there that I recognized that in. That was Chris Soderbergh.
Okay.
His wife was very promotion of him and the things that he does.
All for him. Yeah, went up there to talk, like supposed to talk about herself and talking about her man.
And that's a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a goal set in place for each other. And in a way, they're coaching each other.
I agree.
They're helping each other get to that next level. And he and I have had some amazing conversations and share the same viewpoints on relationship, business. And essentially it's that like, he should be edifying her and she should be doing the same thing for him.
Vice versa. I agree with you. That's cool because it's very interesting how you can almost look at a couple, like you said, and when you hang around them, you get to see how they move, and it honestly just tells you a lot about them and him as a person.
Then the next one that I would go for is if their kids are old enough, watch how the kids act. Because if the kids are brats, that dude and that woman are brats at home. They may not be brats out in public because they put their mask on, but at home, they're hideous.
Well, your kids are a direct reflection of who you are out there, and it's funny because I've had an argument with some people and everything, and I see their kids, and how I was raised was a lot different.
Yep.
Growing up, my dad whooped my ass. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I had to have A's and B's. If I even got a C, I was grounded.
Oh, wow.
We had to have a glass of milk with dinner every single night. We never ate out dinner. It was always in home and just very structured, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I see some kids, and I'm like, I remember one time I said a comment, and I was like, that's because she was acting all crazy, and I was like, that's because how you raised her. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, that's just the kids. And I said, no.
And you notice how they immediately remove responsibility, not even taking the slightest bit of responsibility.
Yep.
And you know that guy, there's no way that you could do business with him.
Well, exactly. How you do one thing's how you do everything.
Absolutely.
And how you raise your kids is how you raise your business.
Absolutely.
I agree with you, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I am. So obviously my kids are just now getting to grow, but it's so true what you're saying there is, you're a leader. That's why I think I'm even more excited. It's funny because I feel like I call it throwing up on people, but whenever I see new people, my kids and everything, I'm showing them everything. I was like, you can tell I'm a first-time dad, but I'm so excited that I get to lead my kids. I get to show my kids, especially my daughter, how a man should treat a woman.
Yes.
And then to my son, show him how he should treat a woman as well. But not only that, be a leader and his space as a human being and a creator, and to go out there and lead other people in his life. And I'm more excited about them and them getting to watch dad on stage and travel with me around the world and see what I do, because that's who they'll become too as well.
Absolutely.
And it's how you talk to your kids too, man.
And I think the biggest key there isn't necessarily the way that they treat other people, but also the way that they treat themselves. Because if we treat ourselves with dignity and respect, that teaches everyone else that you command excellence.
I agree.
You command the respect because you're willing to treat yourself with respect and hold yourself accountable to a higher standard.
I agree.
What's the hardest thing that you face in your own personal life of holding yourself accountable for?
I would say holding myself accountable, I would say over the last decade. I know that sounds crazy, but holding myself accountable to my finances.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is just being smart with my finances, and when I start to make a little bit of money, of what I do with the money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like hold myself accountable to that, and being true to what I say I'm going to do, but then as it comes, thinking it's going to come forever, and then you start to veer off and everything, and then you got to, sometimes stuff happens in your life in the financial side that checks you back, and I think that's God like kind of smacking me on the side saying, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, you need to get back in check, man.
Well, just for the sheer fact that you're aware of that and that you're 30 years old and you're aware of that has put you in a position where your success will be so much larger.
Right.
You know, the majority of us don't learn this until we've suffered so immensely. And usually it's like a loss of a relationship. Wife leaves because there's no money. She can't feel safe, can't feed the kids, whatever it may be. Or, not being able to keep a car or keep the lights on, just basic standards of living.
When I've been through all that, man, yeah, my lady's been with me and I've lost everything twice. And, what I'm saying? We're still together, and the last time was in 2018, and you could ask her, man, if I even wasn't here, ask her how it went. And I mean, I was at the point where cell phones being turned off, not having no lights on, using candles to light up so we could take a shower, eat dinner, living off of $5 for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and eating fast foods all day for 6 months, getting evicted, car repoed, losing a business, losing everything, man. Like, it's a lot, and it's like I never want to go back there. And that's where I check myself, is like, man, like I need to be smart with my finances, and I need to do better with my money. And over the last 5 years, that's what I've been a lot more smarter with, is my money and what I've done. And I looked at her and I told her, I was like, we'll never go back. I'll never lose everything again. I promise you that. But just being aware of it, because I come from nothing, man. I mean, my dad was always working 3 jobs just to keep, and I'm the oldest of 3 boys, keeping a roof over our head. The only time we ever got anything was at Christmas, our birthdays, or the day right before school year. So when you start to come in, you start making really good money, you want to travel. And it's not like I was doing really dumb stuff with it, but I'm talking travel in the world, going on vacations, but very nice vacations. Obviously partying in Scottsdale and Westgate ain't the best either, and stuff like that. But
in all reality too, though, those experiences that you got in that moment have helped make you into the man that you are.
That's why I wouldn't take anything back. I really thank God for everything I've went through over the last decade. I thank him for how my dad raised me, and we weren't even in a great position for him to give me everything. But one thing I tell you with my dad is, whenever I wanted something, I wanted a new skateboard, a bike, shoes, or anything, he wouldn't look at me and just say, Dad or son, I can't afford it. He said, I can't afford it, but I'll show you how to go make money so you can afford it. And he taught me how to go hustle. And that went from washing cars to mowing lawns to spray painting addresses on the curbs. And from there on forth, at the age of 7 years old.
Just think about that. He empowered you.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times now, because we as adults want the suffering to end as fast as possible, and we have the type of resources that technology offers, it allows us to be distracted from the actual suffering.
I agree.
So it pushes the suffering further than what it's necessary for you to suffer to learn your lesson.
I agree.
So now, like, just today, we were getting some food before we came here, and I was watching this family. They had their kid, this little toddler, and they gave him a phone for him to occupy himself. And he was just completely mesmerized in the phone, and they were trying to get his attention. He wasn't paying attention. And the minute that the episode got over, He started exploring his environment around him. He was touching stuff, and the family stopped him. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? What's going on? You need to watch the phone.
Shoving him right back into the phone.
Absolutely. And he doesn't get to experience life and make mistakes. So he doesn't get the opportunity to learn and grow like we did when we were kids.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because we were just at Fat Cats yesterday for my mom's birthday. We took her out and everything, and our daughter's a year and a half, and she's crazy. She's running all over the place. She wants to get into it all and everything. And then when we tried to bring her back to at least, we went out and we'd let her run and everything. But then it's like, all right, we want to come back, hang out for a little bit. But she didn't want to.
Right.
She just wanted to go, go, go. And it's crazy because I look around and you could see some other adults with their kids, and they just got them sitting in their car seats, or they got them sitting in their little strollers. And these are kids, the babies that can walk around, and all they got is just they have an iPad or their phone, and it's like we're in a place where there's games, lights, all this cool stuff. Like, don't you want your kids to see this stuff? Don't you want them to run around, see the game, see the lights, explore, touch, feel? They're in this phase of like wanting to know what everything is. But it always goes back to, I mean, I just call it just lazy parents.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Well,
it doesn't matter how much work it is. I was tired, yeah, but
it's an inconvenience.
yeah.
At this point, their lives are so tough that they had to work 8 hours, and now they have to go home and be a parent too. I mean, they're probably not even cooking food or doing any of this stuff that the traditional families used to do.
Right.
You know, do you cook at home?
Yes, sir. I love cooking, and my lady does. I mean, that's how I was growing up. My dad never liked eating out. We cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single time. We maybe ate out once a weekend, and I love cooking at home.
So look at how soft our society is about, we don't even have to, like, grocery store alone makes it weak. Now we get food delivered to our front door, or any fast food, so you don't even have to cook the food that was
You
delivered.
don't got to do anything.
How soft or how weak-minded do you think that makes individuals?
It vary. I mean, that's what's hurting us today. It's what's hurting the generations behind us. It's what's hurting the people now, the millennials now, like even around my age. Like, it's hurting everybody, man. It's just, and what I see is, I can tell you this from working with guys in the solar industry, is, man, like, people just want it so easy. When you have an opportunity, I mean, do these guys get to go out there, and I don't know what you know about the solar industry, but I got guys that go out there, and every day they have an opportunity to go and make $2,500 to $20,000 a day, and per deal. And it's so crazy because how easy life is. These guys don't want to have to go out there and go get it. And you have to. I mean, dude, it's knocking doors. It's not easy. You understand, people are sitting in their houses. You're going to knock on their door. You don't know what they're doing, where they're at in their life. And they're opening up a door to a salesman that's you and everything. And you got to break the ice in a few seconds, get them to know, like, and trust you, and want to know why you want to come sit in their house and go over a solar plan with them to help them save money on their power bill.
Yeah.
And in return, you make anywhere from $2,500 to $20,000. And it's so crazy, man. And the mindsets of it, it's like.
But let's go right back to what we talked about earlier with the fake coaches and the amount of distrust there is in the fellow human being. Like, and not even necessarily for the guy on the other side of that door, but even the own self-distrust that we carry. If the guy that's supposed to go knock on doors is hitting the snooze button in the morning 2 or 3 times, he's already told himself that he ain't fucking worth it.
Exactly.
So how is he going to be worth it when it comes time for him to make money for himself?
It's not. And it's not a lot of, and I watch a lot of these guys go through it and stuff, man. And this instant gratification from the social media, like, they feel like if they don't make this much money in their first month of selling solar, they want to quit and give up.
They're a loser.
And I'm like, bro, like, that's not the mindset like you need. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's the same thing in the fitness world for me. You know, I tell them, they're like, all right, I want to look like this. I'm like, all right, so what's the time frame you're thinking? Just I surely ask.
That's a good question to ask in the person.
To get an understanding of if they're realistic or not.
Yeah.
And more common than not, totally unrealistic. And if they're unrealistic, then that tells me they're also willing to do things to get there faster, which makes it unrealistic to maintain. And if it happens in the way they take care of their body, then where else is it going to show up in their life?
Everywhere.
Absolutely. The majority of people that don't take care of their bodies aren't taking care of the other things that are important in their life too.
It's true. goes back to how you do one thing's how you do everything. I mean, you were talking about it when someone shows up. I mean, if you're fit, you look good, feel good, smell good. I mean, chances are if you take care of your body like that, you probably take care of your family like that, your business like that, and everything else in your life like that.
Absolutely.
I even go back all the way to the car. When you walk someone's car and everything, how does it look?
Yep.
Is it nice and clean inside, outside?
Yep.
Or is it trash and you got fast food wrappers, stuff all over? You can't even sit on the seat. You got to move all this stuff. It's like, man, like, what does your house look like? What does this look like?
And yeah, it's just a trickle down effect, right? Next thing you know, like you've realized that this person just really doesn't value himself. And it's sad because it's so easy, but it's so hard to look in the mirror and admit that I made a mistake and I need to do better with myself.
I mean, one of what's crazy is that you say that, but it's like people are so free nowadays that they just don't even give a fuck about that.
Well, I think it's easy to project
You know what
now.
I'm saying? Like, they're just like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to do what I want. This is what it is and everything. And I don't care. Everything's so easy to me. And they get so lost in that life.
Well, that's an easy deflection. It's easy to be the victim. And I view that as a victim card. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Oh, I hate that statement.
I know.
And yeah, it is what it is, but the facts of the matter are it is what you made it. And you chose to do something because of the way that you viewed it and the feelings that you had about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can change the way that you view yourself and the way you feel about yourself, you'll probably start eating a little bit better, start exercising, because I don't want to fucking suffer anymore.
Well, and I always say, like, normally you see some people is that they get to that point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And normally that's what it is. And actually, I was talking about this with a business partner, and it's like, dude, people, like, you can't force to change people, and you're not going to change people no matter what. Like, on their time when they want, and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, they'll finally flip that switch, and then that's when they go, and then that's when the student is ready to be coached.
And if you force them, they'll actually double down. Like, I like to mess with people. I like to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I like to talk. And sometimes I like to ask very evasive questions to see how someone will respond. And if they respond in a mannerism that is like defensive, I know that they're insecure. Mm-hmm. I know that there's something in there about them that they feel about themselves that's stopping them from actually doing the things they need to get what they want.
I agree. What's been your experience in coaching people and seeing that and everything? Like, talk about that.
My experience in seeing the way people respond, normally people talk to themselves very poorly.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to tell them that they're worth more than that doesn't work because they're not going to believe you until you figure out the way that they talk to themselves. And if you pay attention, you can get the verbiage that they use on themselves. Prime example, I've got a guy right now that's going through a really bad breakup. He's very successful in business, but he has no personal value or the ability to empathize with another person. Mm. Very good at sales, very techie, doesn't have to necessarily be in that world. So we've been going over things, and we looked at his relationship and how he hadn't been paying attention and how he had been a little whiny bitch. Mm-hmm. And I don't cuss at people. I don't demean people. I hate it. I hate watching other men haze each other. That's something that I don't feel is productive.
Right.
Unless he opened the gates when he called himself a little whiny bitch. Mm. He goes, dude, I was being a little whiny bitch. Why, yes. Yes, you were being a little whiny bitch. How were you doing that? What were the actions that you were taking? And then we start going through that process. And they get to start taking ownership. But the minute that I tell them, you did this, you did that, completely removes their ability to take ownership, because now all of a sudden they're reverting back to their childhood. Their parents are telling them that they did something, and now they're putting their walls up.
That's what it feels like. And that's why, I mean, it's almost the same with sales is, You got to ask questions, and the questions is what the ammo or the feel is, so that you know how to fire off or ignite back towards them. And what I mean is in a good way. So if you sit there and let someone actually open up to you and ask all the right questions that they open up to you, then you just get I always say just give it right back to them in a nice way. But then you also lay out the picture of it, and then you kind of see them. It's like, oh yeah, you're actually right, man.
Yeah.
And then they actually feel good because they actually got it out to you in a way that you made them feel comfortable with.
Yes.
Like they knew they could actually talk to you and get out whatever it was and be vulnerable.
They're prideful. They feel good about the situation, the decision, the choice, the action that they're making. I would go as far as to say coaching is sales.
It's exact. I agree with you.
You're just trying to get them to buy into a belief that you have about who they could be.
Yep. And people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Yep. You get them to know you, to like you, and to trust you, they'll do business with you.
And that's why we do the events that we do. That's why we do this, because I want people to see other men like yourself and hopefully have the opportunity to relate to the things that you're saying, so then that they want to do a program like this, or they want to come to like a men's dinner that I put on, where they can be around other guys and start to realize like my life can be different if I choose to do different things.
I agree. And I like what you're doing. I'm excited to go to your next dinner.
Thanks, bro. I'm excited to have you there. But hey, let's do this because I enjoy this book, and you're telling me that this book over here is the next step or the next evolution in this amazing book.
Yeah, so what's crazy is this is right here. So we have 4 editions. So the first edition was FGM. It was called First Generation Millionaires. That's what it started off as. Then we made a second edition, which we went leather bound. The first one was a spiral bound, all that, paperback. We were making them out of our headquarters.
Dope.
So literally going to UPS store, having them print them there, cutting everything with that, and then making them all together.
Talk about sweat equity.
Literally, bro. Then the next one, we went to a leather bound, which is this one right here, but it was still FGM. Well, then after that, then we meshed them together because I had FGM, which is First Generation Millionaires, and then I wanted to go to the billionaire status, so First Generation Billionaires. So then we had both of those, but it's too much trying to double down with everything, so we meshed it together, and that's where this comes into play, FGMB. So that stands for First Generation Millionaires to Billionaires, so Millionaires to Billionaires. So now we had this, but then there's 2 more editions. There's a gold book of this one, and then there's a red one, which is a financial book.
Okay.
So there's the 3 books. Well, obviously now you see this one, it's totally different. It says ideal. And you know branding is everything. So you have Nike, Apple, these one-word companies, and the branding is everything. So, but what we also notice is in 3 years of us doing that, we've learned over time, but then also the feedback, the name is very intimidating. So a lot of people, I'd get messages and stuff, man, I love what you're doing, love all that stuff, but we have the apparel, and they're like, I don't even feel like, I don't want to wear a shirt, I don't want to do that because I'm not a millionaire, I'm not a billionaire. And it's like, man, the mindset, you guys aren't getting the message we're trying to put out there. But it's also intimidating. So we switched it last final 4th book. So we took all 3 books and put them in one central location, and we rebranded it to Ideal, where you create your ideal life.
Okay.
And if anybody that wants to talk about branding when you're branding your company or anything, ever since we've moved from this logo and this name to this one, we have watched this like on a skyrocket.
Absolutely.
The attractive, the name, the logo, we can now, because our goal with this is the education is to get this in to help the schooling system and the education that's being given. And then also to help companies and sales professionals and people that want to become the best versions of themselves. Yep. So obviously branding it here, you can't get this into schools, colleges, companies. This one you can. And now we're getting into schools, colleges, and companies all around the world.
Nice. Well, congratulations on that. I thoroughly love this one, and I can't wait for the next one. In fact, you have an app. Tell them about the app real quick.
Yep, so app is live. You could go to Google or Apple, type in the Ideal app or Ideal app.
Okay.
You can see it there, but app is live. Let's get this to load up.
Bam.
And then boom, there's the habit tracker. So right here's the app. It's called Ideal. So Ideal, what it is
wrong one. Here, put it up there now.
Boom. So what we do, it's all good. Go download it, go like it. What we do is we focus on habits, daily success habits, daily financial habits, and daily goal setting habits, and other habits all around your life. So if you can master your habits, you can master your life. in your personal and in your business life. So that's where we focus on all those things, and we work with CEOs, entrepreneurs, sales professionals, teams, and business owners all around the world.
And regular people.
And regular people looking to become the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. All right. So if they want to talk to you, if they want to get in touch with you, if whatever it is, they want to be a part of this, tell them how to find you.
So you can find me at my personal page. It's Blake A. Hahn on Facebook, Instagram, all platforms. And then also The Ideal App on Instagram and all platforms. App is live. We just launched last Tuesday. You guys can go download the app now. Book that you guys see here is live in the next 90 days. So you guys will be able to go order those books too as well. And we're excited. Please give us some feedback. We want to know what you think of it, any ideas and things like that. But we're really excited to help people.
Hey, I love what you do, and I'm glad to support you however I can. And I'm going to tell you out there to get on this and to find yourself a mentor. And most likely, you're going to find someone great inside this app that can help you get exactly what you want. Thank you for joining us at the Man Up and Own It Show, where we deal with men's insecurities and situations by telling you stories and information from other men that have made it in life to make it easier for you. Thank you.